Yesterday we read that though Gandhi disobeyed the order to leave Champaran and Britishers filed a case against him, the government could not do anything and ultimately Lieutenant Governor of the province ordered the case of disobedience to be dropped. So now Gandhi was free to fulfill the motive for which he had come, that is to help the poor sharecroppers. Now let's see what does he do, and we are on page number 51. Gandhi and the lawyers now proceeded to conduct a far-flung inquiry into the grievances of the farmers. So all of them got collected and they began by by inquiry. Far-flung inquiry, children, is spread over a wide area. So all over the area, whosoever was there, those all farmers who were suffering from one or the other problem, they all came and reported about their grievances, about their sorrow, about their sufferings. Depositions by about 10,000 peasants were written down and notes made on other evidence. So evidences were collected. About 10,000 peasants wrote and deposited about their problems. Documents were collected, the whole area throbbed with activity of the investigators and vehement protest of the landlords. So, throbbed here means, children, it was full of activities, it was pulsated with the activity, and investigators were running here and there to find out more and more evidences against the landlords. Vehement strong protest was there against the British landlords. In June, Gandhi was summoned to Sir Edward Gate, the Lieutenant Governor. Before he went, he met leading associates and again laid detailed plans for civil disobedience if he should not return. So he was supposed to meet the leading. So what did he do? He collected the leaders, the leading associates who were helping him out in the plan and serving the sharecroppers. So he asked them. He laid again a civil disobedience plan if he was put behind the bars and he could not return back. Gandhi had four protracted interviews with the lieutenant governor, who, as a result, appointed an official commissioner of inquiry into the indigo sharecroppers situation. Protracted, children, means prolonged. So he was having long interviews. He had long interviews with the lieutenant governor, and as a result of those interviews, an official commission was established to find out against the British landlords or to look into the matter of indigo sharecroppers. The commission consisted of landlords, government officials, and Gandhi as the sole representative of the peasants. Now, see, children, from the peasant side, there was only one person, that was Mahatma Gandhi. Others all were the Britishers in the commission. Gandhi remained in Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months and then again for several shorter visits. So he used to go and come and go and come, like that it was. So 7 months he continued to stay there. He continuously stayed there, and after that he used to move from there and then again return to Champaran. The visit, undertaken casually on the entreaty of an unlettered peasant in the expectation that it would last a few days, occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. Very important, children. If you remember the beginning of the lesson, the visit, actually he had come there, he had visited to Champaran. He did not know also the name of Champaran or the place Champaran before. And he came to know only from Rajkumar Shukla that there is a place existing on the foothills of Himalayas. The name of the place is Champaran. So he visited there casually only. He thought that he would solve the matter because entreaty is a request and unlettered peasant means whom he did not know. So the peasant who had come, whom he did not know, he had requested him to visit Champaran, and he thought, he was expecting that in a few days he would solve the problems of the sharecroppers of Champaran and again return back. But that occupied almost 1 year of Gandhi's life. 1 year it took to solve the problem of poor peasants or sharecroppers. The official inquiry assembled a crushing mountain of evidence against the big planters, and when they saw this, they agreed in principle to make refunds to the peasants. So the commission, when collected the evidences, there were numberless, or you can say numerous evidences that were collected against the British planters. And then they thought that yes, it would be right for the Britishers to return the money to the peasants that they had taken from them. But how much we must pay? They asked Gandhi. They thought he would demand the repayment in the full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. Now, children, demanding the payment from the tenants is not wrong. But what they had done is they had illegally taken the money from them. They never reported to the poor peasants the reason of their not accepting the natural indigo. And then by themselves they cancelled the contract. Then another reason was that those poor peasants were maltreated. If they if they wanted to take their case to the court, this was another failure of the Britishers. The British landlords were here also wrong, and then illegally by themselves, and they said that as a compensation the poor peasants will have to pay the amount. What kind of compensation, and why the peasants are going to give the compensation? Because it was not their fault that now the Britishers did not want natural indigo from them. So deceitfully, cheating they had done with them. So he asked only 50%. Gandhi was an intelligent man. He knew that the landlord would take certain amount of rent from the tenants. So he did not ask for 100%. He asked only the repayment of 50%. There he seemed adamant. So he became rigid. He became here obstinate. He wanted the 50% back. Writes Reverend J.S. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran who observed the entire episode at close range. Thinking probably that he would not give way, the representative of the planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%. So the representative of the British planters said that they would not return back 50%, but they would return back only 25%. When he said so, he was thinking that Gandhi would not agree to this. But see what happens. And to his amazement, he was surprised when Mr. Gandhi took him at his word. He said, yes, okay, give 25%, thus breaking the deadlock. Deadlock is silence. Everybody was silent there in the commission. They wanted to know what opinion would be of Gandhi, whether he will be accepting 25% or not. But Mr. Gandhi agreed on 25%. Why? He gives the reason. Very, very important. This paragraph you have to learn by heart. This settlement was adopted unanimously. Altogether, they accepted this by the commission. Gandhi explained that the amount of refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. Now, children, if some person takes money from you and he has to return back because he has not paid you the service, what more insulting can be? It more insulting than this it can be that a person has to refund the amount of money for not paying you the services or for not doing certain authorized task. So what is happening here is that Britishers know that if they would return the money, they would return the prestige also. Now nobody would honor them, nobody would respect them, nobody would follow them. Who would now imagine, children, if they would ask for the money again from the poor peasants, would they give them? No, not at all. Because now, see, therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law. The peasants understood that law was more superior than these British planters and they could expect and hope to get more justice in the future. Now the peasant saw that he had rights and defenders. He learned courage. So now, if Britishers did something wrong against them, they could always challenge the Britishers in the court. Events justified Gandhi's position. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their states. Abandoned means gave away their states, which reverted means returned back to the peasants. Indigo sharecropping disappeared, and as a consequence of whatever Gandhi did, Gandhi became very important person there. Everybody justified his position there. Because of Gandhi only, those people, the poor peasants, they got justice, and British planters had to later on give back the states, return back the states, the property to the land to the poor peasants, and thus indigo sharecropping disappeared. Till here we are going to do today, children.